realize by looking at various examples, right from, I've just quoted from today's newspaper itself, that the phase of the government has changed. There is what is called the growth in the third party government. The scale, the scope of government action and its form, they have all undergone changes. When we say third party, we are referring to commercial banks, insurance agencies, private educational institutions, private hospitals. They've all started playing a role in delivering public services. One of the questions we acknowledge, we said this session hopes to address, is how the government and the private sector can work together, what sort of models they can be. One other question that we may pose is, how can hierarchical forms of government with all its bureaucracies be reshaped and reinvented to improve their performance? Think about it. This is a question that we are posing for ourselves. How can hierarchical and bureaucratic forms of government be reshaped to improve their performance? Is this a good question? Is this a right question to ask? I mentioned marketization a short while ago. One of the answers advanced by the so-called new public management, the NPM, has essentially been to inject market type principles into government operations. To break large departments, when we say hierarchical bureaucratic government and reshape them, what are we trying to imply? We are saying, how can we break large departments into smaller components? Maybe we are also implying, how can we outsource some of the government functions to private vendors? By marketization, we are also suggesting to build performance incentives into government personnel systems and basically steer the government from rowing to a steering way of working. But the question we have to ask ourselves is our assumption that governments are highly bureaucratic, the departments are large, overstaffed, is that correct? Is it still valid in 2015, or has the shape of government changed, at least a little bit in relative terms?